What's up everyone, this is Ethan from Jingle Mining. Today I've got some fascinating insights to share about the world of Bitcoin mining. It's no longer just a side hustle for individuals to make a little bit extra cash. Things are getting bigger and more interesting. So Bitcoin mining is stepping into a new era, a nation level operation. Believe it or not, some regions are trading it as an enhancer to their energy systems. First, let's dive into the energy aspect. Many countries are wrapping up their green energy initiatives with wind and solar power gaining momentum. However, having too much electricity cost isn't always beneficial. During the day, when power generation peaks but demand is low, excess electricity is wasted. Then some clever minds came up with an idea. Why not use this surplus electricity for mining bitcoins? I mean, mining machines can run at any time, right? And when the electricity is cheap, they mine full force. When it is expensive, they shut down. They act like a grid stabilizer. Some mining operations even employ a reverse strategy. They ramp up mining when electricity is cheap and sell the power back to the grid when prices soar. And the government, they're on board with this since it turns potentially wasted electricity into digital reserves. And now let's talk about the advanced stuff. Merging clean energy, mining, and the financial systems. Some regions rich in natural resources like geothermal energy and waterfalls and generate power directly from mines. The government even gets involved in managing the mined Bitcoin as assets. There's also an exciting trend: collaboration between governments and private mining firms. Governments offer cheap electricity and resources. Private companies manage equipment and operations, and Bitcoin profits are shared. Lastly, the biggest shift: the transformation of national reserve assets. Some countries rich in resources are quietly adding Bitcoin to their portfolios, not abandoning dollars or gold, but including a global, tradable, easy to store option that's resistant to censorship. In summary, Bitcoin mining has evolved from a personal endeavor to national strategy, like balancing electrical grid, utilizing surplus power. We are witnessing a monumental shift in the mining landscape. Who knows, before long, it might not just be individual miners. Entire nations could be playing this game together. And now actually let's talk about what's happening in the Bitcoin market. The price of Bitcoin has been hitting new highs, right? But it's not what's really driving this though. And it's more than just people trying to make quick money. I mean, all over the world, governments are spending more, which means there's more money out there. So Bitcoin usually reacts to these money changes, but it takes a little bit time though. So the current price rise might still go on. Besides government spending, big investments from companies are a big factor too. We are seeing a lot of money going into Bitcoin ETFs, and companies like BlackRock and Fidelity are starting to put more money into digital currencies. This shift of money from traditional investments to Bitcoin is giving this price a strong boost. We also noticed some key price levels around $98,000 and $106,000. While the price moves between these levels, the overall trend is still going up, and big holders or whales are buying more, which shows they have confidence in Bitcoin and suggests the market is healthy. And now let's shift to Bitcoin mining. So in the past, miners had a lot of control over the market, but that's changing though. With only 450 Bitcoins mined daily, even if miners sold out their altcoins, they couldn't match the buying power of big investors. Many miners are actually keeping their Bitcoins, helping the market stay stable instead of causing big price swings. And the mining world is also changing in other ways. Companies are not just focusing on getting bigger, but on using their money better. So some are choosing to buy Bitcoins directly, which can be smarter than spending on new machinery. A big change is using extra green energy to mine, like wind, solar, and hydropower. This almost zero cost mining is growing in places with a lot of natural resources, like southwestern China, some areas in Canada and parts of Africa. And miners are also making their own technology and using AI to improve efficiency. And this reduces their need to rely on others and increases their profits, which is crucial as fewer Bitcoins are made over time. And let's talk about how some countries are integrating Bitcoin into their national plans. So in Spain, there's a lot of renewable energy, right? But sometimes it's too much. They're looking at using this extra energy for Bitcoin mining to balance things out. And in Texas, miners can adjust their operations depending on energy prices, like switching off during peak times and mining more when prices are low. And this flexibility helps balance the electric grid. And El Salvador took a unique step by making Bitcoin legal and making geothermal energy from volcanoes for mining. And this method is setting a new standard in using Bitcoin for national development. And public-private partnerships are also becoming common, with governments supplying energy and private companies handling operations. Profits are shared, and similar to how oil and gas sectors operate. And some countries are even considering adding Bitcoin to their national reserves, influenced by concerns about the US dollar's value and difficulties of handling gold. And this shows Bitcoin gaining traction as a sort of digital gold. And finally, let's address a big question. Will Bitcoin ever have more than 21 million coins? So technically changes can be made, but it would require nearly everyone in the network to agree, which is very hard to achieve. So the 21 million cap is crucial to Bitcoin's value and scarcity. Changing it could ruin trust in Bitcoin and causing prices to crash and potentially splitting the community. However, Bitcoin can still work well through transaction fees without changing this cap, ensuring it remains reliable. And to wrap it up, Bitcoin is moving from a just risky investment to becoming digital gold. It faces many challenges like regulations, making sure technology keeps up, and educating more people about it. But the opportunities are vast. And whether Bitcoin becomes a global reserve currency, stays as a high-risk investment, or diversifies in other ways, its future is bright and with possibilities.